Hi there, welcome back to the Rusty Lathe project. So as you can see, we have got a bit further with the lathe. It's still in pieces. Basically what I'm going to do this time in this video is use the compressor as somebody has suggested, and use the compressor and the airline to blow out the oil ways within these units, all the oiling points where you would put oil with the oil can into various places. I'm going to blow through with the airline to ensure that those galleries are clear, and then I can put some more oil in there. Somebody suggested for this lathe that I use the Mobile Vactra oil number 2. So that's what I'm going to use. That's for slideways, etc. So that's what I'm going to use on this lathe. Mobile Vactra oil number 2. I'm just going to use some kitchen cloth type thing for wiping off the old oils. Just wipe away the old oils so that we know those places are clean then, before we start reassembling things. I'll bring you across a little bit closer now for a look at what I discussed in a previous video with regard to these two items here. So I'll bring you across and we can have a look at a further thought that I had about these, having once tried them into position. So come across, have a look. So if you recall, we were looking at these two bits earlier. We said that this was the old one that was going to become redundant, and this was the replacement one which somebody had kindly given to me, and sent to me through the post, along with this lead screw here and this lovely new dial. I don't think you can just see that where you are, but there's a lovely dial there that we can actually see on this one. The old one was rusted. But with these two, we can see that there's a difference between the size of the nuts. Fortunately for me, all I need to do to get these to the same length is to actually remove the ball from the end of here that came with this particular one. I intend to use a drill about the same diameter as the ball, because the ball is retained inside a little shelf. So if I drill that, I can push the ball in with the point of the drill away this bit of brass or gunmetal, whichever it is, to the same diameter as the ball, hopefully, and then the ball will just pop straight out of that hole and the spring may well follow, at which point then I can just have a straight through tube like this one has at the moment, without the ball, because I don't want the ball in on this particular thing. You'll see why in a moment, and we've spoken about that previously in another video. What I did say in the other video was I was going to reduce the size of the bottom of here. I was going to bring it down in size to match this one. But having tried it on the lathe, I don't necessarily need to do that, because there is clearance for it. I was talking about this saw cut in here, or this milled cut in here previously, and this screw. I wasn't really sure what that did, but I've been informed by a viewer that it's actually a mechanism of taking out some backlash of this nut with respect to that thread there, because there's always a bit of give when that goes onto the thread. That will move up and down slightly like that, nowhere near that much, but it will move ever so slightly, and there's got to be a bit of movement so that we can get oils and the like in here to lubricate these surfaces as they rub together. So that's the oiling point, to lubricate that thread there. And what I was under the assumption would be that because these were deep, this was a deeper one, it would actually catch on this yellow part of the casting that we can see here, but in actual fact it doesn't. There is actually room for it to travel along without it catching on anything. I thought it would drop into the bottom and catch, but in actual fact it doesn't. And since talking last time, so where's it gone? I've discovered that down in here, probably out of view, but down in there is actually a little flat bladed screw head, and that screw head operates a screw that comes out into this hollow hole here where that item fits. So that fits in there, and then you would tighten up the screw down there such that when you tip that over, that doesn't fall out anymore. So there is a screw in there to hold that in place while you assemble it. So this then was never going to just drop down. So there we are, that's food for thought. Pop that back there. Just prevent it getting damaged there. So yes, there is actually space underneath this for it not to cause a problem that I thought it would actually cause a problem. So all I need to do is drill that hole out of there. So we'll try and do that at some point. But while we're here now, let's have a look at clearing these holes here with the compressor and putting some oil back into there. We'll just show you how we do that. There are several of these oiling points around on the lathe, so it's a case of checking the manual, which I haven't got, and finding out where all these lubrication points are, and also the correct type of oil to use for your particular lathe. And these are the parts to put it back together once we've cleaned it off, ready for reassembling. So let's just have a look at this business now. Firstly, we need some eye protection. I've got a little pointer for just pressing down on the ball so that the void below is open, and then we can simply blow air into there, which should force out any debris, all being well. And I know this is clean because I've had this piece. There goes the compressor again, charging up the airline. So we can have a look at this ball here. I'll press that one down, and hopefully you should see some oil come out of these holes here. We'll try this one over here, see if any oil comes out. You can just make oil coming out around this lip here through the hole I spoke about a moment ago. So we know there's no rubbish in those. Here's another oil hole. Here's another lubrication point. You can see the oil being blasted out through the side here. So that means that this oilway is clear and not seized up with any greases or anything that might have been put in there at some point. Here are another couple of oiling points for the main slideways of the bed. And here's a better view of that graduated dial that I spoke about, that we can see now, that came with this lead screw. So let's have a go then at drilling this ball out of here with this drill. That should just about clear it and the ball, and hopefully the spring will come out. Not sure if you can quite make it out on camera, but there is a little ring round there, so that's some kind of pressed in collar that's holding that ball in there. And the whole thing again is some kind of a pressed in collar at the top here. You can just see that little ring round there. So this bit must be pressed in, and this little circle in the middle must be pressed in, and I'm assuming that whatever that is, it's actually holding the ball. So maybe the drill will grab a hold of that, spin it round and it will come out, or maybe we'll just drill through and the ball will pop out through the hole that the drill creates. Let's see how we go on. So we've come across to the drilling machine. We've got this item sat now tightened up in this compound vise, sat on top of a parallel. So let's see how we go with the drilling. We've got eye protection on again. So the ball's clearly not popping out just yet. Let's drill a bit further. I think I'll just try cleaning the inside of this hole up a little bit, and maybe that ball will pop out then. So there we are, the ball is now out. So all I did was I got this small pointed screwdriver and just kind of prised it in underneath the ball and scraped away the remainder of the brass or whatever this substance is. Scraped it away so that the bore here, it was the same as the ball, and the ball just popped out. Unfortunately I didn't have the camera running at the time, so that was a classic mistake, wasn't it? And here's the spring that was behind it. There's the spring that was pushing the ball out. So there we are. We've just got a clear tube down here now, which is what we had with the old nut for this original lathe, because we don't need the ball. The ball for this protection of rubbish getting down here is in the top of the cross slide itself on the lathe. So I'll blow this out now with the airline and just make sure there's no remnants in here, and then that will be good. I can just feel a little shoulder inside there that would have held this spring. Not sure if you can see it, but the spring is larger on the right hand side than it is on the left hand side. That's because the smaller part pushed the ball up and the larger part rested on this collar that I can feel inside here. So there we are. Let's get this lathe back together. So I'll clean off now these old oils, get these out of the way, get this down to a bare clean lathe again, and then with the oil can I'll force in new oil into these galleries. And I'll lubricate the thread as well as I go along to make sure it is. I'll put oil on these as I'm going and then just reassemble it. So I'll bring you back when I've done all this cleaning down and when we're ready for assembly.